Flood, great to have you on the show. So you're one of the few Republicans who are still holding these town halls. Speaker Johnson said cancel them. The loudest boos were for Elon Musk and DOGE, and you defended Musk. What is it your own constituents don't understand about what Musk is doing?
Well, at the end of the day, I won by 16 points. As you said, President Trump won overwhelmingly in Nebraska. Listen, there are some people that didn't vote for either President Trump or me, and a lot of them were encouraged to come to this town hall. At the end of the day, whether we like it or not, no matter who you voted for, as you said, we need to get our fiscal house in order. The same tax and spend routine over the past 30 years has not solved any problems. In fact, they've got a lot worse. We're $36 trillion in debt. And whether it's tax the rich or baiting people into thinking they're going to lose their entitlement programs like the Social Security, you're only causing more pain and panic in people that are concerned about where our government's going. And I tried to answer their questions. I tried to be as clear as I could and tell them that the federal law that we're operating under in reconciliation doesn't even let us or allow us to make any changes to Social Security, which we don't plan to do anyway.
According to a Quinnipiac University poll, 54% of voters think the DOGE cuts are causing harm. 40% believe they're helping. The president has promised repeatedly not to touch Social Security, but the website's crashed 4 times in 10 days. People are facing much longer wait times on the phone to get help, sometimes hours and hours that they're waiting. Is DOGE doing this the right way?
Well, at the end of the day, any effort to try and root out waste, fraud, and abuse is going to cause somewhat of an adjustment period. But ultimately, the goal here is to serve the people that are requesting the benefits that they've earned, and they're in a contract with the federal government. This will get better. I've been a businessman myself for a long time, several decades, and change is always difficult. But if we do it the right way, the result will be a more efficient system, a more fraud-proof system, and a more transparent system.
You were elected with 60% of the vote in your district. Are you worried that scenes like this from your own town hall and other town halls across the country, that you'll face a tough time in your next election? Because we know that there's concern about Republicans holding on to Congressman Mike Waltz's seat. He's now National Security Advisor. And the president just rescinded Elise Stefanik's nomination to be UN ambassador because the Republican majority in the House is so slim, he doesn't want to risk losing her seat as well.
Well, not really. At the end of the day, I answer my phone. I take care of people. I make sure that I'm providing good constituent services. And as you see here, I communicate. One thing that I think is very important, I ran for this job because I have a vision of where I think we need to go as Americans. I articulated that in the election. I keep an open mind. And I think by not putting yourself in the town square, defending the decisions you make, for me, that doesn't work. I want the people, especially those that don't agree, to have the chance to come in there and share their thoughts. Now, the things that you haven't seen in those video clips, I got a standing ovation for supporting Ukraine. I was told about changes at the Veterans Administration that I'm going to look into. I got a lot out of that town hall. And I also wanted to be very clear with the people that were there providing security. I did not want anybody removed. I did not want anybody to have to leave that event. And so I deliberately made sure that everybody could have their say, and I dealt with people in a very respectful manner. And what you don't see is after that event, I had a lot of people come up to you that said, listen, I don't agree maybe with everywhere you're at on these issues, but I do appreciate the fact that you're here.
Yeah.
You're taking questions, and you're willing to stand up in front of us. And I think there's something important about letting people let their congressman know in any way they feel comfortable.
You bet.
How they feel.
You bet. You guys are representatives, and to your credit, a lot of other congressmen in Republican districts or Republican elected congressmen are canceling their town halls and following the speaker's advice. You didn't. You stood there. You answered their questions, and it sounds like they really appreciated it. One quick question before I let you go for the weekend. You are in favor of all these tariffs that President Trump is proposing, but polls show most Americans are not. Today, the stock market plunged on news of the 25% tariff on cars, and consumer confidence is at its lowest level since 2021. And consumer outlook on business conditions and people's own income is at the lowest level in 12 years. People are clearly rattled right now.
Well, let's talk about this. In his first term, President Trump successfully used tariffs to produce great trade deals for the United States. It worked. President Biden had zero major trade details by the end of his administration. Tariffs, as President Trump has shown, can be an effective tool for securing these victories for America. We saw better relations with trade relations with China, with Mexico, with Canada after the first Trump administration. So, I'm betting on the only person in America that's really made major trade changes in the last 20 years. That's President Trump. He's doing it his way, which is always the most unique way. But I'm hopeful that he'll be able to deliver for America what he did in his first term. And at the end of this episode, we will have better relations and fair trading relationships.
All right. Congressman Mike Flood, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy a little bit of March Madness.
I'm going to a fish fry, so I'm excited.
A fish fry. That sounds great. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Enjoy.
Yeah, all right. See you
All
later.
right. Coming up.